Neopian lore, what we got in store. Talking about the things that we love and adore. We're all over 20, right? We stay indoors and play this game. And love this game. Sometimes hate this game. But let's all talk about Neopian lore. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome to episode 11 of Neopian Lore on Isca and Caylis, the Estranged sisters. I'll try to be as accurate as possible and attempt to pronounce all names correctly, but keep in mind this world is fictional and this is all just for fun. And yes, I will pronounce it Aisha this time since it's technically canon, but childhood brain still says it's Aisha. It hurts my childhood soul every time, but I will power through it. Anyways, I'm your host, Krista Poyman. Now let's cozy up to some nostalgia. Not long ago, the city of Maraqua had been destroyed by a pirate's curse. Kelpbeard, king of the undersea realm, saved as many Maraquans as he could. He returned many times in search of survivors, and on one such journey, he found two sisters named Isca and Caylis. So I was around during the Curse of Maraqua plot, but being a kid of 9, I don't think I actually participated since I have no recollection of it happening. Apparently I was more focused on getting a fairy paintbrush, and then getting scammed out of all my Neo points since the person was supposedly going to break up the trading post a lot, and for some reason was unable to do an auction. Of course I'm still salty about it, just like the salty seas of Maraqua. Segue. The 2005 plot, The Curse of Maraqua, featured the return of the titled city, a world that had been missing since 2001 after being swallowed up inside a whirlpool due to a pirate's curse. The ruins of old Maraqua still exist. If you do the daily underwater fishing, congrats, you've been there! The plot came out concurrent with the Wizard of the Coast TCG, expanding on the lore with some beautiful art. Our leading ladies are Maraqua and Aisha sisters. Both have white hair, a trope in fiction to indicate characters that are mystical and arcane, often wise beyond their years. Isca, considered the innocent, kind one, wears lighter colors and has flowy clothes, while Caylis, seen as reckless and selfish, dons darker colors with form-fitting attire, showing off her scandalous curves. As we will learn, these characters are much more nuanced than their simple adjective descriptions, but their character designs do reflect the base level of their personalities. I have a huge soft spot for fairy tale retellings, and this plot fits the bill, drawing strong connections to The Little Mermaid, both the Hans Christian Andersen story and the Disney film, while also subverting expectations. That being said, it's really easy to make comparisons since it is the most famous mermaid story. Using the same mythical creature, you're bound to have similar plot beats. The sisters were found by King Kelpbeard after the destruction of Maraqua when they were around 11 or 12 years old. Their parents long gone, the king took them under his fin. Maraqua rebuilt in secret, now under the name New Maraqua. Very clever rebranding there. Both girls had a gift. They could see the future. Isca saw it in her dreams, but Caylis, her nightmares. Isca was constantly praised by Kelpbeard as her dreams helped Maraqua avoid peril, but for Caylis, the opposite was true. Ever since she was a child, bad things always seemed to happen whenever Caylis got upset, and Maraquans feared her, blaming her for disasters that she foresaw. Caylis had said, "My nightmares horrify me in my sleep, and my waking hours are filled with loneliness." When she was 17, King Kelpbeard banished Caylis for the safety of his people, her becoming the Ursula/Sea Witch of our story, while her sister Isca watched on. To be fair, according to the TCG, Caylis's tears have a mind of their own, and if you look closely, you can see the bright red eyes on the streams, reminiscent of sea snakes. When she's distraught, Caylis looks like Medusa, but instead of snake hair, it's snake tears. I've always felt bad that Isca didn't stand up for her sister, but could you imagine how hard it would be to stand up to the literal king, the man who raised you? And she's 17 at this point. She's still a baby. When Isca was young, she had saved an Usul from drowning after he had been messing around with some friends. Now in her dreams, she sees the same face, but much older and wearing pirate attire. This Usul's name is Garen, captain of the Black Pocket. He is also having dreams of an Isca telling him that he must leave the life of a pirate or else doom lies ahead. Prompted by another dream and sensing danger, Isca hurries to the surface. King Kelpbeard's voice rings through her ears. "Never mix with surface folk." At the surface, Isca sees a pirate ship attacking another. It's the dastardly Captain Scarblade. Garen goes overboard Prince Eric style and Isca rescues him. She puts a kelp necklace around his neck, allowing him to breathe underwater. Garen comes around and Isca shows him the wonders of the depths, but keeps him hidden. She tells him, "It's expressly forbidden for any Maraquen to mix with surface dwellers. If they find you, they will never allow you to return home." She brings Garen home in order to return him to health, risking pretty much everything to help this boy. And what does he do while she's away? Oh, he goes exploring and steals a priceless Maractite dagger. Maraqua is the only place in Neopia that produces Maractite, a metal which cuts through water as if it were air and can even cut through solid iron. As Maraqua is still rebuilding after a literal curse from pirates, they're a bit on edge as they're not well protected. And you steal one of their important resources? Yeah, not cool, dude. Fun fact about Maractite, it, quote, slowly decays when exposed to air, a fact the pirates were not aware of. So it might bite you in the butt later, buddy. With Isca's help, Garen fully recovers and immediately wishes to seek revenge, but Isca foresees his death if he returns to his life of pirating. "My dreams have never been more clear. There is nothing but death ahead of you on the seas." Yet Garen returns to the surface. This girl can see the future in her dreams. Listen to her! The banished Caylis approaches her sister, the interaction brief. She's curious about Isca's dreams and Kelpbeard's favor, and of course angry about how she was banished. Clearly she's hurt, but she should be angry at Kelpbeard, not Isca. What's interesting is Isca never seems to show resentment towards her sister for treating her poorly. I don't think it makes her the bigger person, but she understands why Caylis is lashing out. There's also a good chance she feels really guilty for not standing up for her sister. But again, she would have had to defy the king's orders, resulting in her own banishment. Isca now dreams of a terrible danger coming to Maraqua and Garen's friend, Jacques, being tormented by the Drenched, a trio of 3 evil water fairies. The Isca returns to the surface to find Garen and take him to the fairies, the things nightmares are made of. Isca sings to summon her childhood pet to help them against the Drenched, asking for Garen to wait before charging ahead. But, of course he doesn't. See, Isca is careful. She makes hard and risky decisions, but always weighs the risks. And then we have Garen, with no impulse control, and he just does whatever he feels like in the moment. It's fine, there'll be no repercussions. Garen is immediately surrounded by the Drenched, but he attacks them with a Maractite blade while Isca goes to save his friend, Jacques. A few water fairies follow after her, and she uses herself to distract them while Jacques escapes. An added wrench in the chaos, the Chasm Beast, a beast that prowled the depths of old Maraqua, known to devour any one or thing in his path, including pirate ships, has heard all the commotion and decided he also wanted to play. Think of him as the Neopian Kraken. Luckily, the Chasm Beast helps distract the Drenched, and the party is able to make their getaway. All dumb luck here. Once the danger is gone, Isca confides to Garen about her recent dream of New Maraqua being destroyed. Garen and Jacques vow to protect Maraqua as repayment for saving their lives. Isca returns to warn her home, but with a heavy heart. Cue another Little Mermaid beat of the confrontation with the king. "Where have you been? My guard saw you swimming towards the surface. You know that is absolutely forbidden." Isca tells him that she had a dream about Caylis, but the king doubles down, saying she was banished for a reason. "From this day on, you are not allowed to leave this room without these soldiers to guide you." then I am a prisoner in my own room? We also learn that Maraqua is running out of Maractite to rebuild and make weapons with, leaving the city vulnerable. In the eyes of King Kelpbeard, Isca was meant to be the quote-unquote good one, but he is so blinded by rage he doesn't understand she is only trying to help. He lashes out about Caylis, but here's the thing. Nothing that happened was directly because of her. She saw bad things, and they happened. She didn't cause the destruction, she just foresaw it. And now Isca is basically seeing the same things, and Kelpbeard is scared of that. All he's doing is pushing her away, just like Caylis. So earlier, after quite a bit of adventure, Garen had gotten a pint and loudly talked about New Maraqua to one of the employees at the inn. A henchman of Captain Scarblade overhears and goes to tell him, "Okay, I get it. At the time, Garen was distraught about his friend going missing, but dude, Maraqua is still rebuilding. Why are you blabbing your mouth about them? Yes, you're like 17 years old, but use your brain." Men on land have been going missing, being captured by Scarblade to build an army to conquer and destroy New Maraqua. Garen tracks down a group of men and rescues them, and they all decide to go fight back against Scarblade, who has already taken a ship down into the seas. Garen searches for Isca to warn her, but he gets lost. There in the depths, though, he hears a haunting melody and follows it, leading to Caylis. Caylis refuses to help Garen, saying, "New Maraqua should be left to their fate after banishing me, and it wouldn't matter anyways, since no one would ever listen to a surface dweller." Garen tells her that he owes Isca his life, and Caylis relents and shows him the way to Maraqua. They are immediately taken prisoner by King Kelpbeard's guards and taken to the king. A nice "I told you so" for Caylis. Garen tells the king about the invasion, but Kelpbeard will not listen, claiming he is just there to learn Maraqua's secrets. The king demands to know how Garen even found New Maraqua, and the young boy lets it slip that Isca showed him the way. "And what is your part in this, Caylis? You know that you have been forbidden to return to Maraqua." "I don't know why I bothered to try and help you. I have only ever been treated unfairly. Maybe there is a scrap of truth in Garen's claim, but you would never listen to an outsider." Caylis is taken away, Isca is banished, and Garen is imprisoned as Scarblade's troops loom closer. Things are looking dire for Maraqua. The sisters are finally together again, though things are definitely strained between the two. Isca wishes to help, while Caylis says they should do nothing. Garen rejoins the group after escaping prison, using the stolen Maractite blade. Man, that thing has come in handy. And to the rescue, dun-da-da-da, Goragus, Isca's giant orange gulper, the flounder of our story. Finally at her side after calling him, days ago? But I get it, he's a big boy. It probably takes him a long time to get anywhere. And he's cute, so he gets a pass. The Maraquan troops aren't faring too well against Scarblade's men, but lo and behold, Garen's crew arrives and joins in the battle. The sisters have yet another squabble while delegating tasks, as Caylis refuses to help the king in any way, shape, or form. "I needed you when I was banished, sister. Do your own dirty work." Garen instead takes the task, one of his few redeeming qualities. Was it really selflessness, though? Or did he want to just because there was risk in it? During this time in the plot, users could choose a side, the Maraquan forces or the crew of Captain Scarblade. Within each side, users could also choose to become a supporter or a warrior. Warriors earned points in the Battle Dome, while supporters earned points from playing Maraquan games. Our big boy Goragus was the second hardest boss for the Maraquan side, just under King Kelpbeard. He had 1,500 hit points and had a super attack bee, Ghosker Bomb, and Sword of Skardson as weapons. Did he find these on a sunken ship or something? This fishy was OP. As a quick tangent, one prize from this plot was the pet Blorbus. I can't do this pet justice, you just need to look him up. If his description won't convince you, I don't know what will. Grumpy, foul-smelling, and terribly unhygienic. Oh, he's so beautiful. Okay, back to the story. Caylis reveals she has magical powers and attacks Scarblade's army. I have so many questions. Is this related to her tears? They're the same shade of blue, but we don't see them as little snakes. Has she always had these powers and she's kept them hidden? Did they come to her now because it was a time of need? Even Isca is surprised, saying, "My sister can do that?" So if this was a prior ability, she kept it well hidden. Regardless, Scarblade's army is no match for Caylis's magic. And even King Kelpbeard joins the action, which I gotta respect a monarch that faces battles head-on for his people, even if he did make some questionable decisions about his surrogate daughters.
"My lord, this is no place for you."
"I have not forgotten how to fight, my boy." Ooh, things are getting heated. The sight of the king fighting alongside them gives the Maraquen forces renewed hope. Kelpbeard goes to Scarblade, who's just been hanging out in his underwater ship like a coward, not actually fighting. As he boards the ship, Kelpbeard announces this scrumptious piece of lore. "I swore to never take another life, but for you, I will make an exception." With lightning reflexes, Captain Scarblade manages to escape and knock the king off balance. Wasting no time, he calls for his men to do the same to their opponents. The battle carries on until Scarblade bellows as they retreat, "Foolish king, you may have won this time, but nobody will ever defeat me." The Maraquen army's general is determined to follow after the ship, but Kelpbeard stops him. "No, my friend, enough fighting has taken place. He will not dare set foot in Maraqua again." The king calls forth our boy Garagus first, of course, then Isca, Caylis, Garin, and the pirates. Who would have thought this little gulper would be so brave? And I thank you, Isca, and apologize for misjudging you. But of course, we all saw how bravely Caylis fought today. She used her powers to help Maraqua. Brave Garin, for your service to New Maraqua, you are absolved of all crimes. The gates of the city are open to you any time you wish to re-enter. As for you, pirates, you have taught me not to judge at first sight. You are all welcome to return here, just leaving your pirating ways at the gate. As for Caylis, she still needs time to heal. I know what life is like in the city, and it is not for me. You simply don't understand. I couldn't belong here. She was seen as an outsider in her own community, banished by her father, and felt betrayed by her sister while being the angsty age of 17, and all within the last few weeks. Healing, of course, is going to take time. Caylis is often painted as a villain, with many item descriptions using words like angsty and sullen, but she's so much more nuanced than that and falls under chaotic neutral. She protects herself, as it's been proven up to this point no one else will. Also, we constantly see her hanging around in rock caves without any sort of furnishings, so I understand her being a little snippy after sleeping without a bed for a few weeks. Isca, on the other hand, tells Garin he can stay as long as he wants, that the power of the kelp necklace she gave him after falling into the water many moons ago will never wear off. Ah, young love. Nope. Garin jumps onto his ship saying, I need excitement and treasure, not silk sheets and politics, while chucking Isca's necklace into the sea. Oh, but he did say, I'll visit when I can. Dude, you need the necklace to visit her and you threw it overboard. Oh, this character drives me crazy. At least Isca finally recognizes how naive he is with, oh, he's just incorrigible. You deserve better, girl. As much as it sucks for Isca, it's nice to have a twist on the happily ever after trope. And hey, maybe this will help the sisters bond again. I wish we did get to see the reconciliation at the end of this plot. Both sisters are still fairly isolated, Caylis by choice and Isca by her sister and Garin. But at least Isca didn't chase after him. And remember what she foresaw at the beginning? My dreams have never been more clear. There is nothing but death ahead of you on the seas. So far, all of her dreams have come true. So Garin, you are walking a very, very fine line here, and don't you ever come crawling back to play with Isca's heartstrings again. Some argue that this entire plot is a self-fulfilling prophecy. As said earlier, everything that the sisters saw came true. If Isca hadn't saved Garin and left him there to drown, he wouldn't have resurfaced to talk about Maraqua at the inn, leading to a Scarblade crew member overhearing. Though if Garen would have listened to Dream Isca and left the life of pirating, then none of this would have happened as well. So another reason to blame him. Am I too harsh? He is 17 after all. Further evidence of Isca's dreams being a self-fulfilling prophecy is in a story found in the 8th issue of the Neopets magazine, released right before the Maraquen plot. No, watch out! No! Isca shot up in bed, breathing heavily. She sat still, allowing her memory of the dream to pass. In the dream, her friend Brianna, a Maraquen Akara, had been pulled into a dark trench never to return. Isca's stomach felt heavy. Throughout her life, the Aisha's dreams were often premonitions of the future. She hoped with all her heart this was simply a bad dream. In the back of her mind, though, she knew it wasn't. Maybe, she thought, maybe just this once I can stop it from happening. Isca then goes to warn her friend, who falls into a dark cavern as prophesized, but Isca saves her in the last moment. Here, we had her friend wanting to show her something which causes her to fall into the pit. If Isca had never come to see her, this would have never happened. I also have to ask, what's the key difference between a dream and a nightmare? I always assumed it was what you perceived as good versus bad. In the end, did Isca technically end up having nightmares? And if the sisters kept their dreams and nightmares to themselves, they still would technically happen, right? Or did their actions cause the premonitions to come true? Ugh, time stuff just gives me headaches. But you may think that's the end of the story, but oh ho ho, there's more! Neopets had a very short-lived app called Legends and Letters that had a continuation of the Isca and Caylis story with some extra juicy lore. In the game, the main character Auric goes to New Maraqua, where there's been a curse cast upon them, making all Maraquans evil versions of themselves. What I find interesting is the only one not tainted is Caylis. Perhaps it's because the curse preys upon darkest fears, and Caylis is just an open book about her insecurities. Caylis and Auric come across a tainted Isca, and she taunts Auric with a vision she had in which he betrays his friends and then dies. Then she spouts at her sister, "You abandoned your family, Caylis. We welcomed you home, and you left me just like Garen." They swiftly defeat her, and she returns to normal. The three sneak into New Maraqua, fighting citizens and soldiers along the way. On the journey, Isca informs Auric that sometimes the future can be changed, and sometimes it cannot. She did not wish to say which Auric's future was. I'm not sure if this means she always knows the outcome. It's a little vague. We also see some cute banter between the sisters. "With any luck, our father won't notice us until we're at his doorstep." "Is he still mad at me?" "He's still the same old stubborn coy he's always been." "I've missed that." They reach the throne room and find King Kelpbeard. "My foolish daughters, you are my biggest disappointments, and you will be defeated by my own trident." Circumstance aside, it is cute he refers to them as his daughters, and the girls have started to call him father. We didn't see that wordage used in the plot. After he's defeated, he and the rest of the Maraquans return to normal, and we get some reconciliation with Kelpbeard and Caylis. "Caylis, you came back." "Of course, father. I couldn't leave you like this." "Oh, Caylis, will you call me Dad once in your life?" "Thank you, Dad." And in those ellipses, we have a step or swim in the right direction. That's all for this episode of Neopian Lore. All characters and licensing belong to Neopets.com. Music was created by me, Krista. Today's composition is called In the Depths of Maraqua. I hope you have a lovely day in Neopia.